Microphone your way. Also, please state your name and affiliation before asking your question. Nick, left side, front. First row with Doug. Thank you.
Doug Smith with Toronto Star. I guess you really didn't have to worry about how your young guys, Pascal and Freddie, would handle the enormity of the moment. They're both, how do you think they played?
They were both really good. You know, especially, obviously, Pascal had a big offensive night. I thought he played with really good composure, right? He got to his spots and got on balance and was patient, and when he needed to go quick and get around him, he did as well, and he had a couple of real tough ones go in for him as well. But Freddie did a good job. Freddie worked hard defensively, played a lot of minutes on Curry, and I know Curry had 34, but Freddie made him work for him.
Nick, Dan Wyke with the Los Angeles Times. Centers like Marcus All aren't always able to stay on the court against a team like the Warriors. How was he able to be so effective tonight?
Well, he's a really good defender, right? And a lot of that comes from, I always say it, a lot of it comes from desire to be a good defender and the want to stay on the court, right? But I think his IQ is really high. He knows how to get out there, and he's shown over the last few games, or maybe more than that, that he's pretty good when he gets a mismatch on a shooter. He went up in the last series and guarded Middleton really well on, when there'd be a breakdown, and he'd end up way out on the floor on those guys, and I thought he did a decent job on some of those guys tonight. Just really good reactions.
Left side, fifth row, Nick.
Arash Madani with Sportsnet, coach over here. Golden State down 17, down 18 to Portland in the Western Conference Final. They were able to come back and win. They never really got ignited tonight. How are you able to make sure they didn't go on their trademark runs?
Well, I think the big thing is you gotta continue to play defense all throughout the game, even though you're trying really hard sometimes, and they'll come down and they'll make you look silly sometimes. They'll hit cut, boom, layup, and you're just like, man, what happened? How did that happen fast? And we just said that some of those breakdowns will happen. We need our weak side to be good. We were close a few and just didn't rotate on a few of those. But you take it out and you go back down and you try to answer. You get a shot and you try to answer, and you try not to have any droughts on offense, because their ability to score quick. I think, again, as I kept saying in the Milwaukee series, offense is really important for us here, taking care of the ball and getting shots and getting some to go through the net, because if they take it from me, they're down the floor in a hurry, probably spraying for a three, and if they're playing off the rim all the time, they're coming downhill fast at you, and either at the rim or spraying.
Right side in the back, Tim.
Nick, Tim Reynolds with the AP. We've been talking all postseason about, Kyle gets criticized for not scoring, which is, sort of silly by now, but he just finds ways. And tonight it was, leading the passes, taking charges against Boogie, things of that nature. Can you put into words how much his willing to sacrifice on literally any play at any time means in games like these?
Well, I think that one of the best things about this team is that you don't have to put a burden of 20 to 25 points on him. Because he's going to defend, he's going to lead the team, he's going to make those tough plays. He just instinctually does that game after game after game. And the scoring, it's great. It's I'm not going to say it's like icing on the cake. We need his scoring, and we certainly need his spacing and some of his head down drives where he makes contact and gets to the line. Those are really important. But again, I think this team can a lot of times absorb some nights where he just plays really well and doesn't score. He plays really well and doesn't score much. There's nothing wrong with that.
Right side, second row, Phil.
Hey, Nick. Phil Barber, Santa Rosa Press Democrat. I know that a building can't win a basketball game, but what did you feel in the arena tonight, and what do you think it did for your team? Well,
it gave us a couple nice bounces. I think we had a couple of shots go in that were kind of eye openers, let's say. But the fans obviously were great. They were loud. They were exciting. I think they were into it, and that's the way it should be, man. That's what home court is, and our fans deserve a bunch of credit for being a big part of that.
Left side, second row to Mark.
Nick, Mark Schwartz, ESPN. knowing Pascal Siakam's story and how he was discovered in Cameroon, but not really known to be a basketball prospect. Even when Masai saw him 7 years ago, he didn't look like an NBA player. How is it possible for a kid with so little background to come up in this situation and do what he did tonight in this stage?
Yeah, it's pretty incredible, right? First of all, but I think it was 2 years ago, Mark, when we got bounced out of the playoffs. We literally went in the gym the next day, and he was kind of like, listen, I need to learn how to shoot. I see that in playoff basketball, you better be able to shoot to be on the floor. So went to work that day on his shooting, and I think we changed some mechanics, but that's a very small thing. He took it and just absolutely ran with it, 2-3 times a day, every day, just trying to get that part of his game better, right? And that just shows again, he was extremely hardworking, like beyond. I mean, just super committed to finding a place in this league and improving his game. But I've heard, a lot of people or him say some things this year, and they keep saying, are you surprised? And he keeps saying, no, this is what I've always envisioned for myself. So I think that's a powerful statement he makes as well. He believes in himself, and he went to work at it.
2 more questions in the middle, 4th row, Kayla.
Coach Kayla Gray, TSN. You guys took quite a few threes at the beginning of the game. Was that just taking what the defense was giving you, or were you trying to really establish you guys and your presence outside?
Yeah, I mean, we're always going to try to take what's there, and I agree with you. I said a couple times early in the game, I said, have we shot a 2 yet? We shot. I kept asking, and Pascal had shot one, but I think we'd taken 8 of our first 9 shots were threes, but they were open, and I love it because, the one thing that we must do in this series, so that we need to do, is go for it. And that just showed our no hesitancy, confidence, and willing to just kind of go for it.
Final question, left side in the back, Stephen.
Stephen Lung, Sportsnet. It's back
Left
here.
side.
Hi, Stephen.
Danny Green really struggled in the Milwaukee series with his 3-point shooting, but it seems tonight he seemed to kind of get that monkey off his back. What did you see from him?
I wanted to show you.
Yeah, I mean, I think one thing that's been interesting is as the series change and a new team comes in and all those things, it certain guys it fits, and certain guys it doesn't in the rotation or even in the starting lineup, and it just, Milwaukee just wasn't his series, and it was probably good to get that one over with in his view, and kind of get a clean slate. And that's what we said. It's a new series, new team. Forget about what's happening, and you got to do that game to game now too, right? You got to understand that some guys aren't going to shoot as well every night or as worse every night. So each night we try to find who's going and who's got a chance, and try to keep those guys out there rolling.
Thank you, Nick.
All right, thank you.